Hi, I'm Marianne Denton, and I'm an aquatic ecologist and a very active naturalist, and my specialization is benthic macroinvertebrates. Benthic macroinvertebrates are the larval form of insects that live in waters, either flowing waters like streams or still waters like ponds. They're spending most of their life in the water as an insect, or clams or snails, which are mollusks. So one of the different ways we can sample a pond like this, which is a lentic water, lentic meaning slow, is we call it pond dipping. You can take any net. This is a D-frame dip net, usually used in streams like that. Streams that also can be used in wetlands and ponds like this. And you just take it along and you bounce it off the bottom. And that causes the substrate and the plant material to get loose like that, and then you can put it in your bucket to identify your creatures later on. And then in the substrate, you can do the same thing with your dip net. Just set it there and maybe kick the substrate in like this, because in the substrate you're going to have clams, maybe some snails. You got a rock, rinse the rock off. And usually what you can do here is, once you have the sand and stuff in your net, scoop it up, and a lot of it's going to come out, provided it's not too coarse. And we splash it to get the water down. It's a nice little brook type stream, and what we'll do is we'll put the D-frame dip net right in front of us. We want the flow of the stream going into the net, and we stand here and we kick the substrate around, and that way all the invertebrates flow into the net, and we scoop them up. And we're gonna, and I always check my net. I see something awesome here, so put them into a rinse bucket or a dish tub. A lot of the stuff I use just when I'm fooling around and not working is a kitchen tub like this, and then sometimes you'll have a kitchen tub or a colander that you use to strain your pasta. Yeah. And I'll use that. And so what I'll do is I'll take a pitcher of water, or again, fill up a tub like this, stick a rock in it, and just rinse it off. And so from here, I see we've got some oligochaetes. Got that nice oligochaete right there, so an aquatic worm. Some stoneflies and some mayflies in here. So even though this is a little stream, it's got good habitat and a good representation of different invertebrates here. You know, there are so many resources online. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Benthic macroinvertebrates. So benthic means bottom. So if you just Google benthic macroinvertebrate identification, there are so many great two-page nice illustration just to identify, to order, and then sometime family. In a pond like this, the water is very still. There's a lot of nice plant material in here. You're going to find a lot of dragonflies, damselflies, which are predators. They're great predators in the water. They're great predators when they emerge as adults. You'll also find back swimmers and boatmen, which are actually true bugs called Hemiptera. But what they do is they have these big oar legs that they swim. And back swimmers, they swim on their back. They look like they're dying. And boatmen are swimming with their dorsal side up. damselflies and dragonflies like to attach to this plant material, this aquatic plant. Also in the sand you're going to find oligochaetes, which are worms. Aquatic worms are just like the earthworms you find in your garden, but they live here in the water. And those are a great fish food. That's the big thing here. In a pond like this, getting stocked with fish, you need all the aquatic invertebrates you can get. The fish are going to eat the mayflies. In the still water too, you'll get a lot of mosquito. But when we're talking about water quality and pollution, we're talking more like chemical constituents, nutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus, things like that. There are different communities that live in different areas like that, and they really tell us a lot about water quality. When you find a lot of stoneflies and mayflies, it says that your water quality is great, but sometimes you might find a lot of flatworm and planaria, and then your water quality might not be so great. You know, some smaller oligochaete worms that are pretty tiny, but these are really good indicators that you've got a nice little unstressed, not a lot of water quality type pollution in this little creek here, which makes sense because you don't have any upstream users of agriculture or runoff. One of the types of clams you'll find in an area like this are called pea clams or fingernail clams, pisidiums. They're very tiny. They're a great indicator of water quality. They call them fingernail clams, but they're even smaller than my pinky nail, or pea clams. Not to keep them for too long, not to hold them too much. Go out, get your feet wet, put yourself in a pond or a stream, and find all the great things that live in there.